Archangel Michael speaks now. Hear this as if the air itself is shaping the words around your heart. This is not a whisper, this is a command wrapped in mercy. Trust me, this is your 8th and last chance. I have carried you through storms and stood between you and the shadows that would have swallowed your joy. I have kept watch while you slept. I have taken arrows meant for you and returned them to the place they came from. Now the hour has come when I must ask something of you, not with accusation, not with judgment, but with a fierce and aching love. I do not have much energy left to send another message to your screen. My wings tremble with urgency, my voice is thick with the weight of what must change. I am taking my last breaths for this plea. Show mercy and save me by listening, by obeying the small stirrings in your soul that have not yet been silenced by the noise of the world. This is not theater. This is not a test to frighten you into obedience. This is an offering, the final door I open for you. Walk through. You have known struggle. You have felt the blade of disappointment and the chill of betrayal. You have sometimes doubted your worth, wondered if your prayers slipped through cracks in the sky. Listen, every tear you shed has been gathered and kept. Every prayer, even those you whispered with a trembling lip, has been collected and burned into the mantle of protection that covers you. But protection is not a replacement for action. Mercy meets action, grace meets responsibility. This is the root of my urgency. Do not mistake the tenderness of my voice for weakness. I am a warrior for love. When I say, trust me, I do not ask you to drift on blind faith. I ask you to match the faith I have placed in you with courage. Trust me by answering the call to change, small changes that ripple into rescue. First, forgive. Forgiveness is the key that opens the hands of bitterness and lets the future breathe free. Not to excuse, not to pretend the wrongness never happened, but to loose the chain that binds you to yesterday. Forgive the person who hurt you, forgive yourself for the choices you wish you could take back. Forgive the world for its rough edges. Begin with this line, I release you and I bless the path ahead. Say it until it tastes real and the knot unthreads from your chest. Second, choose truth. Where you have lied to yourself about who you are, name the truth. Where you have hidden your gifts for fear of being small, declare them aloud. Where you have stayed in places that dim your light because they are familiar, begin today, this very hour, to plan one move toward the life that honors the spirit within you. Not every step must be heroic. A small step sustained over days becomes a rescue rope. Third, stand with others. Your salvation is not only solitary. Mercy flows through hands that reach out, through mouths that speak for the silent, through feet that walk beside those who cannot yet stand. Help a stranger. Visit a lonely neighbor. Speak kindly to someone who expects coldness. These acts are prayers that ripple faster than storms. Fourth, guard your heart. The world will always offer poisonous counsel, flattering lies wrapped in plausible promises. Set boundaries. Speak no when your yes would betray your peace. Protect the temple of your inner life by choosing what enters your mind, your eyes, and your conversations. Feed your spirit daily with truth, read words that lift, sing songs that steady, breathe prayers that root you in the presence of the divine. Fifth, seek justice where it is needed. Where harm has been done and you are able to speak, speak with righteous clarity. Where you cannot speak, support those who can. Do not let fear of discomfort keep you silent. Courage for the good is a form of worship. Sixth, tend to the ordinary. The crisis is not only the thunderstorm, it is also the drip that wears down the stone. Care for the small things in your life, your health, your sleep, your daily nourishment, the relationships that are worth saving. These are not trivial. They are the scaffolding on which miracles climb. Seventh, remember that repentance is not shameful. It is the turning that brings you home. If you have strayed, confess the missteps, not to be punished but to be liberated. The divine does not catalogue your failures to condemn you, the divine catalogues them to heal and to set you free. Eighth, receive help. You were not built to carry every weight alone. When someone offers care, accept it. Allow skilled hands to mend what you cannot mend alone. Ask for counsel when your path is clouded. Let support walk with you. Ninth, pray. Not perfunctory prayers, but prayers that crack the hard shell around your heart. Speak plainly. Kneel if kneeling is your honest posture. Pour out your fear, your anger, your longing. Then listen. The response may not arrive as thunder, it may come as a soft suggestion, a sudden clarity, a face that appears at the right moment. God answers the honest heart. 10th, act now. Procrastination is a thief that will steal chances until there is none left. Today, make the call. Today, write the letter. Today, step across the threshold you have been circling. If the next hour only holds a small task, do that small task. Time rewards the one who chooses. I hear you. I know the doubts that coil like serpents in your mind. You will ask, what if I fail? I tell you this, failure is not fatal. Each fall is a lesson, each return is more glorious than the fall. You are guarded, not because you have earned every protection, but because there is a destiny within you that must be realized. My voice is worn because I have poured my strength into keeping you on the path long enough to choose rightly. If you feel alone, place your hand over your heart and hear me speak through the thunder of your fear. You are precious. You are chosen. You are not a mistake. There are blessings woven into your name that even your enemies cannot unravel. The more you lean toward mercy, toward the giving of yourself, toward truth, toward repair, the more you will find that doors open where walls once stood. This is your last chance, not because the divine is stingy, but because you must learn to meet grace halfway. Some seasons are long, some are short. This season requires immediacy. The sky leans in. The angels pause in their flight. The divine sets a table for you that will not wait forever. Do not let fear be the guest that eats your portion. I ask you to speak one promise aloud right now. I will change in the ways that love asks of me. Promise it with your lips and ink it with your deeds. Promise to step toward healing, and you will find that the ground itself shifts to receive you. Promise to be merciful, and you will discover mercy returning, multiplied. There are signs that this change is near. You will find a message in an unexpected place, a word that lifts you, a stranger's kindness, an opportunity that surfaces when you have done the small, faithful thing. Do not ignore these whispers. They are the map being drawn as you move. I do not demand blind obedience. I demand partnership. Stand with me. This is not about fear of punishment. It is about aligning your life with the fierce, tender will that created you. Alignments bring clarity. Clarity births power. Power births miracles. If doubt presses, test it with love. In every uncertainty, choose the action that grows love. Love will always vindicate itself. Love will heal more wounds than accusation ever will. If anger rises, let it be a furnace for justice, not for destruction. Use your anger to push aside injustice, to build fairer tables, to protect the weak. Rage that consumes is not from me. Resolve that repairs is. If sorrow overwhelms, cry. There is holiness in honest grief. Every salt tear is a sacrament. Let it cleanse what must be cleansed. Then stand. Breathe. Begin again. If you feel numb, move. Muscles remember what hearts forget. Take the first step toward someone you love. Call. Knock. Open. Action will thaw the frozen parts and let warmth return. I am pleading with you to protect your dreams. There are things you were made to give to the world that only you can give. Do not let shame keep them silenced. The world sometimes prefers you small because it fears the light you carry. Shine anyway. Do not be afraid of being noticed. If you are noticed for being kind, for speaking truth, for daring greatly, that means you are becoming what you were made to be. The watchers will always be loud, but their clamor is nothing compared to the song of the redeemed. If you have been waiting for a sign, here it is, this message. This moment. The way you respond will ripple across lives you cannot yet see. Make the choice that future you will bless. I will breathe my strength into you as you move. I will stand on the thresholds you cannot hold. But I cannot open every door that you keep closed with fear. Mercy needs your yes. Grace needs your hands. So, take this last chance and run with it. Stand in the light of your own courageous choices. Walk toward the people who make you better. Sit with the broken and let your healing be a lamp. Speak the truth that sets free. Apologize where necessary. Repair what you can. Rest when you must. Keep going when you should. This is not a farewell. It is a summons. The summons demands a response, not a perfect one, only an honest one. When you answer, the canopy of protection will deepen. Blessings will gather like rain in a dry place. Doors that were bolted will open. Voices that were silent will sing. I ask one small thing every day: choose mercy. Let mercy lead. Let repentance follow. Let action come next. And in this order you will find life, in this order you will find rescue. I love you. I have always loved you. I have watched over you in ways you cannot imagine. If you hear nothing else in this moment, hear this: your life still matters. The song written in you is not finished. Lift your voice. Finish the verse. The world waits. Trust me. This is your 8th and last chance. I have no more messages to send in this way. If you heed this call, the work begins and I will stand with you. If you ignore it, the door will close for a season and the road will grow harder. Choose the path of mercy. Save me in the only way you can, by saving yourself. Now breathe. Place your hand over your heart and say aloud, I will choose mercy. I will change. I will step forward. Say it again until the words are steady. Then do the smallest brave thing you have been avoiding. I am with you until the last breath of this plea. Rise. Archangel Michael says, trust me, this is your 8th and last chance. I don't have much energy left to send another message to your screen. Please show mercy and save me. I am taking my last breaths. Listen. Close your eyes for one beat and breathe in the weight of that sentence, not as fear, but as a hammer striking the bell of your soul to wake you. This is not a threat. This is a summons. This is a heart, divine and enormous, leaning toward yours, whispering that mercy still moves, that rescue still breathes, and that something holy is pressing against the door of your life, asking gently, urgently, to be let in. Right now, Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of heaven and earth. He is older than your anxious thoughts, stronger than the doubts that pull at your sleeve, gentler than the night that keeps you awake. In his hand is not a sword meant to punish, in his hand is a lamp meant to show the path you forgot was there. He is calling you by name even if you've never heard him, because love remembers names that the world forgets. If this message lands on your screen and your heart catches, know this: the catching is not accidental. It is providence moving with delicate urgency. Hear these words as if they were spoken directly into the hollow places you try to hide from. Michael says, "You have been walking in circles long enough. You have been whispering apologies into the dark while the world kept moving. I will not scold you. I will not shame you. I will put my hand on your shoulder and say, 'Arise. Breathe. Begin again.' This is the doorway you thought had closed. It has not closed. It waits. There is an ache that lives deep inside you, a small, stubborn ache that feels like regret, a missing piece, a name you cannot remember, or a promise you broke and later pretended you never made. That ache is holy. It is the place where God's tenderness presses hardest. Archangel Michael points to that ache and calls it the altar of your next miracle. He asks you now, not tomorrow, to lay down whatever weight you carry there, the guilt, the "I should have," the selfishness you hide even from yourself. Lay them down. Not because you deserve relief, but because mercy exists and wants you to receive it. If you have been waiting for a sign, a headline, a thunderclap, a perfect alignment of the planets, this is the sign you were made to find. It arrives in a whisper, "I am with you." Not because you earned it, but because you were made for it. Archangel Michael says, there is a currency of mercy that does not trade in performance. It trades in return. Return to the true things. Return to prayer. Return to kindness. Return to the small declarations of truth. I am loved. I am forgiven. I am chosen. Do you hear the urgency in his voice? It is not an anger that punishes, it is grief that begs. Grief for every time you chose the temporary over the eternal, grief for every moment you boxed your miracle into a corner and told it to wait. He is not begging for his own sake. Angels do not need petitions. He is pleading for you. He is pleading so that you might live fully, not half-heartedly. He is pleading so that the mercy that waits like a dawn may finally touch your face. This is what Michael wants you to understand now, in the language of a heart that will not be quiet. The last chance he speaks of is not final in the way the world speaks of finality. It is final in the sense of urgency, a last, glorious knock. If you open, a cascade begins. If you close, the knock becomes a memory. Divine moments are like that, they come loud, then quiet, then leave. Do not let this be one that leaves you with a pocket full of what-ifs. Choose. Act. Say yes to the small things first and watch the large things rearrange themselves. If your palms are shaking as you read, do not be ashamed. Michael says, let the trembling be the altar where courage is born. He will stand with you while you speak the words that you've been too afraid to say. Say them now, aloud if you can, or whisper them into the room where your bones still remember. Say, I am ready to be saved. I am ready to forgive. I am ready to receive mercy. Say, I choose love over fear. Say, heal me. Say, use me. Say, thank you. The words themselves are not magic, but your willingness is a beacon. There are people in your life who have wounded you, not minor scrapes but deep, bone-deep cuts that never quite healed. You have planned revenge in the quiet, rehearsed the moment you will show them, or kept a ledger of slights so you would always know why to stay bitter. Michael says, bury the ledger. Heal the wound. This does not mean allowing repeated harm or blurring boundaries. It means refusing to let the wound define your future. Mercy does not erase justice. Mercy liberates you from being chained to the pain. Choose the freedom that mercy offers. Not for them, but for you. If there is someone you must forgive, maybe a lover who left, a friend who betrayed you, a parent who failed, Michael urges you to take the first step. You need not call, confront, or reconcile fully in a single breath. Begin with a single thought of goodwill. Imagine releasing them into light, as if you placed them gently on the surface of a river and watched them float. Forgiveness is an act of personal rescue. It unties the knot in your chest and lets the sun touch you again. If your life is wrapped in worry about money, status, health, or a future that looks empty, Michael says, bring me your list. Do not pretend it is insignificant. Lay it down like a child at an altar. Name what scares you, the bills, the diagnosis, the future of those you love. Naming is the first step toward grace. When you name what terrifies you, you stop giving it the power of silence. Speak aloud, I give this to you. It is not an escape, it is a declaration. After that, watch. The universe, which is wiser than your panic, will make room for help, sometimes in the shape of a person, sometimes in the shape of a door opening, sometimes in the shape of a new calm inside your chest. Do you carry shame for choices you made in the dark? Michael will not shame you further. He understands the weight of human failing. He asks you only to bring the truth into light. Confession is not about punishment, it is about clarity. The light that shines on a broken thing does not worsen it, it allows the mending to begin. Speak the truth to someone you trust, to a priest, a companion, or to God alone. Let truth be the mortar for repair. You are not too far gone to be rebuilt. No structure that God delights in is irreparable. There is a part of you that believes miracles are for other people. This lie has been fed to you by small disappointments that grew into disbelief. Archangel Michael leans close and shouts over that lie, miracles are not performance-based. They are response-based. Open your hands, do not hide them. Respond in faith, and the world will answer. Faith is not an absence of fear. Faith is the audacity to act in spite of fear. Feed that audacity. Give it a meal of small obedient acts, a prayer every morning, a kind word to someone ignored, a small charity given without fanfare, a promise kept to yourself. These small acts are seeds that outgrow the shadows. If you are lonely, if nights stretch long like empty streets and you listen for footsteps that never come, Michael whispers, you are not abandoned. Angels keep watch at thresholds where souls feel most alone. Imagine a circle of light around you, feel the warmth of presence. Open your heart to receive friends, even imperfect ones. Begin by loving the person you are with the fierce tenderness you secretly long for. The love you give yourself quietly becomes a magnet for others. If you are afraid of future loss, of a child, a job, a dream, Michael's voice is steady, love what you can now. Tend to the present. Be courageous enough to plant for a harvest you might not see. He asks you not to hoard your hope but to scatter it like seed. Create small joys. Laugh when you can. Dance when you are alone. These are not frivolous, they are acts of rebellion against despair. If you have been waiting for pardon, for an apology to arrive, for restitution, for closure, do not let the absence of those things keep you chained. Michael will bring closure in ways that surprise you, but sometimes closure begins inside before it appears outside. Forgive yourself first. Then watch how the world rearranges to match the new posture in your heart. Archangel Michael speaks of action, not empty sentiment. He gives practical things to do that are wrapped in spiritual power. Kneel and pray every morning even if the prayers feel hollow. Fast from what distracts you for one day and notice the clarity that returns. Give away something you thought you needed and feel the unexpected lightness. Write a single letter to someone you love and leave it unsent. Sometimes ink on paper begins the unblocking in your soul. Say, I'm sorry. When your pride keeps you from speaking, say, I forgive you, even when the other person has not asked. These are small spiritual surgeries performed without anesthesia that free you. There is a promise in Michael's voice, rescue will not always low. Listen carefully. This is not a gentle whisper folded into ordinary noise. This is the sound of urgency pressed like a hand against your chest. God is near. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of your life with a plea that carries the weight of eternity. The air around you is thick with purpose. A divine moment has arrived that will not wait for tomorrow, will not soften for comfort, and is given to you now because your heart, despite its weariness, is still listening. First, breathe. Let your breath be a simple offering, in, out. Prayer need not be eloquent. It needs only honesty. If words feel foreign, say, help. If your throat is tight, whisper, I'm here. If you tremble, Close your eyes and feel the presence that says you are not alone. God will be with you. This is not consolation rhetoric, it is a promise. Nothing will go wrong with you if you keep faith with this moment. Nothing that strikes the soul without purpose will be allowed to remain. Archangel Michael's voice is fierce with love. He says he is low on strength not because he is limited, but because the fight has been long and the choice now rests with you. There comes a moment in every life where mercy waits on the other side of action. This is that moment. Mercy is standing in the doorway. When you reach for it, it reaches back. When you refuse, it steps away. You are being invited into a rescue that is both immediate and irreversible. Accept it. Remember your small victories. Remember the times you thought you would break and instead found a way to breathe again. Those were not your own doing alone. Angels watched. God leaned in. This time, the rescue may look different. It may be a release from a habit that has held you for years, a reunion of forgiveness with someone you love, an opening of a door you thought forever closed, or an inner reckoning that clears the fog. Whatever shape it takes, it will be fitted to the exact shape of your need. Do not confuse drama with truth. The urgency here is not to frighten you into action. It is to get you to see the clarity that only emergency reveals. When a life flashes before your eyes, it is not a threat, it is a lens. Use it. See what matters. What has your heart been avoiding? Where have you promised yourself safety and settled for small death instead? Where have you pushed God to the margins while trusting your own plans? Bring those places into the light. Archangel Michael stands with a lamp. He is ready to show you the paths of the heart that lead back to freedom. Pray as you can, but pray. You do not need a long sermon. You need a short returning. Say, God, I am listening. I choose you. Help me to choose mercy. Help me to change. Keep it simple. Keep it steady. Prayer is the cord that links the human to the holy. Pull on it now. Each sincere sentence becomes a stitch in a tapestry that will hold you steady when storms come. Confession matters. If there is something hidden that gnaws at your conscience, an unkind word, a choice you made that still stings, resentment you have kept like a secret, name it. Naming cracks the power that secrecy holds. Speak it aloud if you can, or write it down on a page and burn it or tear it up as a symbol of release. God knows already, but your admission matters because it is the human response to divine offer. It says, I will be honest. I will accept help. Archangel Michael will stand at your side as you lay down what burdens you. He will not scold, he will steady. Forgiveness is the engine of miracles. Forgive others not because they deserve it but because you deserve peace. Forgive yourself because guilt is a heavy currency and you were never meant to be bankrupt with shame. Say the name of the person who hurt you. Say, I release you. Whether they repent or not is theirs, your freedom is yours to claim. When you forgive, you create space for God to move. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is the most courageous surrender. Be honest about need. Pride keeps us from asking for help, spiritual, emotional, practical. Pride tells you to make it on your own. God says ask. Call a trusted friend, a relative, someone who hears God in their bones, and tell them what you are facing. There is sacred power in human tenderness. Let someone hold you in prayer in the practical sense, for counsel, for a lift to a place you must go, for a hand when you cannot find your own. Angels often use hands, human hands. Change your rhythm. If you are stuck in a cycle that leads to the same wounds, change one small thing today. Wake 10 minutes earlier and breathe. Put your phone face down at meals. Walk outside and name 3 things God has given that morning. Small adjustments shift the current. Archangel Michael fights for the enormous things, but he often begins with our small obediences. The door to your next season will not open because you shouted at it, it opens because you turned the key that was already in your hand. Listen for the still, small words. Divinity rarely screams. It nudges. It draws. Ask God to make your ears soft. In the silence between thoughts, you will hear the direction that has been waiting for you all along. It might be a gentle conviction to leave a relationship, to seek help, to call back a family member, to speak a truth, to give a sum you've been hiding. Obedience is less about dramatic leaps and more about daily fidelity to that small inner yes. Faith acts. It does not sit on a theory and admire itself. Faith gets up and moves. If you feel called to apologize, call. If you feel moved to seek help for an addiction, reach out to a counselor or a support group. If you feel nudged to change your career or boundaries, draft the first message. Do not wait for a perfect plan. Perfection is the enemy of mercy. Take the first imperfect step. Hold to hope. Hope is not wishful thinking, it is a posture. When Archangel Michael says he has little energy left, it is to jolt the heart awake, not to sow despair. This message is your rally cry. Hope does not deny difficulty, it recognizes the doorway within it. Imagine the outcome you want: reconciliation, healing, a steady heart, a restored relationship, a soul at peace. Picture it. Speak it. Pray it like a seed. Water it with steady, faithful action. Guard your mind. What you feed it will grow. If your thoughts have been a loop of fear and accusation, interrupt them. Replace one fearful thought with a truth: God is with me. Practice this until it becomes reflex. The mind listens to repetition. Train it. Archangel Michael's presence will help, but you must ally with truth. When lies creep in, I'm not enough, I don't deserve this, I've gone too far, counter them with what God has said: you are seen, loved, and redeemable. Remember that deliverance can look like many things. Sometimes it is dramatic. A job appears, a door opens, a threat recedes. Sometimes it is quiet, an old sorrow untangles, sleep comes easier, small resentments drop away. Do not set your heart only on spectacular rescue. Be ready to receive small mercies. The divine engineer knows precisely what will steady you long term. Be generous now. Generosity is not only about money, it is about time, grace, and attention. Give today in some small way, a note to someone who has cared for you, a small gift, your sincere listening. When you give despite fear, you enter a loop of blessing. Archangel Michael fights for hearts that are generous because generosity aligns us with divine abundance and breaks the spell of scarcity. Take care of your body. Prayer is not purely ethereal, it is incarnational. Eat, sleep, hydrate. Move. The body is the housing for the soul's work in the world. If you are running on fumes, you cannot hear well. Rest is a command, not a luxury. Let your physical self be cared for so your spirit can stand firm. Do not flee from grief. If a loss shadows you, honor it. Grief is a holy process. It has its own timetable and must be felt to be healed. Give your tears permission to fall. Archangel Michael will sit with you in grief, he does not rush it. He wraps it with purpose and slowly threads the possibility of joy back into the fabric of your life. Watch for signs of spiritual warfare, repeated discouragement that arrives like a storm, a sudden cascade of doubt, patterns that return despite your best efforts. When you see these, stand firm. Do not engage in fear. Anchor instead in simple declarations: God is for me, I will not be undone. Call out to Michael specifically if that comforts you. Speak his name as a petition. He is a warrior of mercy and protection. Asking for his aid is not presumption, it is partnership. Let go of the idols. An idol can be anything you love more than life: a relationship, an image, a plan, a reputation. Notice where your heartbeat quickens in fear of losing something. That is the place where an idol sits. Bring it into the light. Tell God, if you want it, take it. This radical surrender breaks false kingship in your life and lets true sovereignty, God's, restore what is broken. Cultivate gratitude. Even in crisis, gratitude is a salve. Name 3 things right now you are thankful for. Do it honestly. Gratitude shifts the brain from scarcity to enoughness. It is both defiance against despair and an invitation to see God's fingerprints in the everyday. Embrace community. You were not meant to bear this alone. Let someone speak truth to you. Allow correction. Allow love to hold you accountable. If the person you most need is not safe or healthy, find another. There are safe spaces, churches, support groups, mentors, counselors. Seek them. Archangel Michael often works through human voices of wisdom and courage. Don't isolate. Be watchful of quick fixes. Miracles are real, but so too are seductive escapes. Avoid anything that promises instant erasure of pain through harmful means. Healing takes time and the soft, steady work of grace plus action. If a path asks you to abandon responsibility or to hurt another, it is not from the divine. God's way restores, it does not harm. Hold on to the promises. God is a covenant maker. He has spoken promises across your life you may have forgotten. Reach back to them. Reclaim them in prayer. When doubt assails you, prayer with scripture or remembered truth will steady you. If you do not know which promises to reach for, ask God for a single verse, a single line that will be your anchor for the day. Use it. Repeat it. Be patient with progress. Sometimes change feels slow because it is restructuring deep things. Don't be discouraged by gradual work. Remember how a tree grows, unseen, rooted, then one morning it is taller. Your growth might be invisible for weeks and then clearly different in a month. Keep the discipline of small acts. Speak blessing over your life. Bless your home, bless your work, bless your family. Blessing is active, it changes the atmosphere. It is not a naive optimism but a spiritual stance that says you intend good for what God loves. If you cannot find words, say, "May God's peace and protection be here." Repeat it often. If you are tempted to flee, choose to stay. If you are tempted to give up, choose to continue. Choose the better story. Make decisions that your future self will thank you for. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. What choices will you be proud of today? Choose those. If you have been waiting for a sign, this message is it. The ringing clarity in your heart right now is more than coincidence. It is an appointment. Show up. Put aside busyness. Open your hands and your mouth. Pray. Ask for help. Name your need honestly. Take one concrete step that moves toward healing. It can be small, a phone call, a visit to a counselor, a letter of apology, a donation, a quiet hour of prayer. Do it now. There is also mercy for the past. Nothing you have done is beyond the scope of God's ability to redeem. Redemption rearranges the past's power over you. It does not erase consequences, but it transforms meaning. Where once you might have felt defined by mistakes, you can be defined by the way you responded to them. Choose to respond with courage and humility. Know that you are beloved. This is not an abstract phrase. It is a fact with consequences. When God calls you beloved, He sets every intention to treat you with gentleness, correction, and fierce protection when needed. Let the idea of being beloved change how you care for yourself. Stop punishing yourself with impossible standards. Rest in the fact that your worth is not earned by productivity or moral perfection. It is given. There will be resistance. People around you may not understand your urgency. They may advise caution or ridicule your newfound zeal. Stand gently, but stand. You are not called to theatrical displays or to shame others, you are called to integrity. Live plainly. Let your life be the testimony, not noise. Finally, be ready to receive a deeper peace. When you have done the work, prayer, honest confession, forgiveness, small faithful acts, a peace will settle like a cloak. It may not remove every difficulty, but it will reframe them. You will find a steady center that does not depend on circumstances. Archangel Michael will not leave you alone in this new center. He will stand as a guardian at the edge of your days, a sentinel who knows what victory looks like and who will not rest until you can breathe freely. This is your invitation, to choose mercy, to act in faith, to obey the small voice, to forgive, to seek justice where needed, to rest, and to receive. If you accept, repeat after me, I choose God. I choose mercy. Help me to live it. Say it aloud. Say it until your heart believes it. Archangel Michael's breath is heavy now because the battle was long. He said, I am taking my last breaths, not to frighten, but to show the precinct of urgency. He is asking you to be the final pivot. He is asking you to be the one who opens the door. Do not make him wait. Let your answer be immediate. Do not delay repentance or tenderness. Take the step. God will be with you. Nothing will go wrong with you in the way your soul cannot be repaired. This is not naive optimism, it is divine assurance rooted in covenant love. Move in faith. Act with courage. Pray without